Morning, guys. I'm just going to keep the mask on because it's really cold. I mean, it's really cold today. Hey, we're on the grounds of the National Cathedral here in Washington, D.C. This is just across the street from where I live. But also just down the street is where the Vice President lives, or officially the Vice President's residence, because as far as I can tell, the Vice President isn't in there yet. Now, I thought, let's go down, check out what's going on at the Vice President's house. And while we're at it, let's go look at the Vice President's neighbors, namely Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. So the National Cathedral behind me is where they have like the opening prayer service for the new president. They didn't do it this year, they did it virtual. It's also where they have funerals for presidents. President Bush's funeral was here, Senator McCain's funeral was here, and President Reagan had a ceremony, President Ford. I think they've all had ceremonies here at this cathedral. It is gorgeous, but it's also really, really cold, so I don't feel like standing around here too long. I should note over here is an area called the Bishop's Garden. The Bishop's Garden is where the private schools in this area will come to teach the lessons of Adam and Eve. And they give each class 3 rules not to disobey. Things like don't talk, don't run around, da-da-da-da-da. And then secretly, the teachers time the kids how long it takes for them to break the rules. It's kind of a good thing for learning about the lessons of Adam and Eve. So that's the Vice President's house, and it's apparently empty while they change out the chimney liner, which I'm told is a really, really messy process. So, I don't know, I don't see anyone on the roof. Maybe they're doing that inside. So this is the official time of the United States government. All the clocks in the U.S. government operate off the U.S. Naval Observatory master clock. So if you want to know when you have to pay your taxes, this is it. I hear this noise. Entrance. I don't know what that noise is. It sounds like one of those barriers is like broken. A vacuum cleaner. Yeah, the refresh rate always messes up that clock. You guys hear that noise? Yeah, it sounds like a vacuum cleaner. Because usually the trees are such that you cannot even see the house. There is an American flag flying in front of it. A lot of people ask me about that. I'm not so sure why, but the Vice President is not there as far as we know. I'm really not a fan of these fences. These fences are everywhere now in DC. I don't think it's electric. Should we touch? Bzzz. No, it's not electric. She's going to move here after they do the renovations. You could just see a corner of it, yeah? Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. This is the Vice President's house? No, this is not the Vice President. This is the British Embassy, which is next to the Vice President's house. This is the back door entrance to the Vice President. Those are actually Navy base houses. Guys for the Naval Observatory live there. And the New Zealand Embassy's up there. We're going to see that in a minute. And this is the Brits. I always thought this was the Union Jack. But actually, it's the flag of the British Diplomatic Consular Service or something like that. So it's got this like seal in the middle of the flag. You never really see it because it's never really that windy up here, but today it's definitely windy. The Brits also, of course, have a London phone booth in case they want to go look at the advertisements for services. Those of you who are in London know what I'm talking about. So, like the American Society of English Speakers, I don't even know who put this up, but I don't think it technically was put up by the embassy. Maybe it was. On the other side of the street is the South African Embassy. And they added, this is just a couple years ago, they put up Nelson Mandela statue in front of the South African Embassy. And I was recently corrected. I always thought this was the old Moroccan embassy, but this is actually the old Iranian embassy. And that building next to it is the Iranian ambassador's house. But since we don't recognize Iran anymore, it's just kind of this big vacant building. I don't know why Bolivia has that just multicolored, rainbowy kind of flag. Maybe it's like the different states or something. I don't know. It's really pretty funky. This is Brazil's embassy, and then the Brazilian ambassador's house next to it. So this is the Sri Lankan embassy, and it's next to the Polish ambassador's residence. And then there's some more up here. So Hillary Clinton bought this house for, I think it was $2.7 million. It's now worth about $5.7 million. And they don't even live here. This is just their Washington address when they come to DC. There's a Secret Service car with a New York tag, empty. This on the other side is the residence and embassy of Denmark, the Danish embassy. Free Legos. And this is her house. So I guess this is the path we have to go to get to Barack Obama's house and Ivanka Trump's house. So this is the Washington, D.C. Islamic Center, and behind it is a truck. Now behind it is actually Barack Obama's house. So, I kid you not, he actually does live behind a mosque. So this is the center, and then down the street you can see a Secret Service cruiser blocking the road, and that's because 6 houses down that street on the right-hand side is Barack Obama's house. He lives in this very expensive neighborhood. I can only get up to that car. That's as close as I can get. Well, that's it's a Secret Service Uniform Division police cruiser. Now this building here on the right, this red brick building, this is the Russian Embassy's Defense Attaché's office. And this is where the Russians do all their spying. I kid you not. This is the spy center of Washington, D.C. for the FSB, formerly the KGB, the GRU. This is the Defense Attaché's house. Now, there's the Secret Service cruiser for Barack Obama. He lives down there. But who do you know lives behind the Russian spy center? That's Ivanka Trump. So, Russian spy center. And then that White House there is Ivanka Trump's house, or former house. Now she's moved, and the house is now for rent for $18,000 US a month. It's this house you're looking at right now. That's her house. Or I should say that was their house. There's a car going in there. The fences are down. There used to be Secret Service here all the time. So this house is Ivanka Trump's house. It's for rent for $18,000 a month. The Secret Service quietly rented like a basement apartment somewhere on this street for $3,000 a month so they could use the bathroom. I don't think they own it. So the Woodrow Wilson house is here, and it's a museum towards Woodrow Wilson's life and all that in the United Nations, League of Nations. But then this building and the next building were the Textile Museum, and they were converted into Jeff Bezos's private house. The Amazon founder has a house here. I don't know if he's in there right now. There it is, Black Hawk. That's a VH-60 white top. That's part of the president's fleet. Though the president usually flies on a different helicopter. So back there we have Haiti and Chile, Egypt, Philippines, Vietnam, Kenya's being renovated, The Greek embassy's over there, the Irish embassy, the Romanians, the Turkish ambassador, the Latvians, and the South Korean consulate or something. So Senator Kennedy, President-elect Kennedy, lived in this red house, and that's where you see all the pictures of him announcing his cabinet secretary picks before he moved to the White House. Cold, cold, cold. Yeah. So if you look at some old... So that pink place is Call Your Mother. That's where Biden went for bagels after church the other day. It's very popular with the Instagram crowd because they like the colors and the pink and all the flowers. So you go on Instagram, you'll see lots of pictures of this place. Biden went to church just up this street at the Catholic Church near Georgetown campus. This is 3600 Prospect. This is the Exorcist House. This is where they filmed the movie The Exorcist. So for those of you who've seen The Exorcist, you know where I'm going. The final scene of the movie The Exorcist, well, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but let's just put it this way. This staircase plays a major role in the end of the movie The Exorcist. These are known as the Exorcist Steps here in Georgetown. Come out here on Halloween, you can scare people who are climbing them in the dark. It's a lot of fun. This is where they filmed the movie The Exorcist. It was banned in the UK, yeah. Hoity neighbors in Georgetown. This guy decided to spruce up his house and added some robots in disguise to the neighborhood. I mean, these aren't plastic. This is like chainsaw chains and gears. We're on a scooter now. I decided to stop walking. And we're going to come back by the Vice President's house, see if there's any other activity since we walked by earlier this morning. So this is the back gate for the Vice President's mansion. And oftentimes I see the limos coming out of this gate rather than out of the main gate. The helicopter landing pad is up this way too. I don't think you'd see the helipad, but it's just over this ridge. Now there's all sorts of cameras, motion detectors, all sorts of other lights, guard towers, and then of course fences. It's not modern Washington unless you have a lot of fences. There's the Vice President's house up on that hill. We'll see it better on the other side. Broken lift. And then the Vice President's house is that building right there. There it is. See if I can zoom in on it. There's a lot of construction vehicles here. There's the Vice President's house behind the guard tower. The flag is flying, but nobody's home. The Vice President is staying at Blair House, which is down by the White House, as the renovations are ongoing. Let's stop here, because this is where we started, yeah? Ugh. Woo! It is cold, but the mask actually keeps you really warm. So guys, that was our run past the Vice President's house. They're apparently replacing a chimney liner, which I'm told is actually an incredibly messy process. Lots of soot and stuff. So they wanted the Vice President to stay out for a week. She's at Blair House, and when they get that all done, supposedly she'll move in there sometime in the next week or two. We'll let you know when she does, though. See you soon.